I think there's a lot of factors going on. In fact, I think I've been on your show 5 or so times over the last few years, and each time you ask me about Bitcoin, I would deflect and say, Bitcoin's not interesting at all. It hasn't been for most of the last 2 years. But now Bitcoin is the only thing that's interesting and is by far the biggest beneficiary of everything that's going on. So there's a few factors here. The first is what was happening with Operation Choke Point, or this idea of restricting crypto firms' access to the banks, coupled with all of the failures at regional banks and then eventually onto Europe with Credit Suisse and potentially more to follow. What happens is every single person, whether you're just an individual investor or you're a person who belongs to the executive board of a small business, every single person is now having to re-rank what does it mean to own something that's safe, right? A month ago, assets in a regional bank was deemed safe. After the events of Silicon Valley Bank and Silvergate and Signature and Credit Suisse, that re-ranking has to start with, okay, I want my assets in a money market at a brokerage account. That is the first thing that is safe. Then I want to have my assets maybe at one of those too big to fail banks, your JP Morgans, your Citis, your Bank of Americas. Then it's probably a bearer asset like Bitcoin or Ethereum. And then way down on the list is assets in a regional bank or assets in a stablecoin. And what that means is you have real flows coming out of regional banks and out of stablecoins, and that assets have to go somewhere. Now, some of those assets obviously went to bigger banks, but also some of those assets went into Bitcoin and ETH. And that's what we've seen over the last 2 to 3 weeks. There's been 30 plus billion of assets leaving regional banks and another 16 billion in declines of stablecoins. That money has to go somewhere. And even if it's only a small fraction going into Bitcoin and ETH, that can have a big effect on price.